Okay, so behavioral ecology, part 1. Behavioral ecology, part 1. Okay, so part 1, part 2, part 3. All it's about is how do organisms respond, how do they behave, and why do they behave that way. So that's what this is all about, is why organisms behave the way they do. We're talking about animals, like out in nature versus animals that are tame and in your homes, things like that. Okay, so the first thing says DNA is responsible for being the blueprint of information, for making proteins. But do you think that DNA is the way you act? No. Well, we know it's not like our accents, right? It's not the way we talk. Mm-hmm.
I feel like your surroundings are like
yeah, like your surroundings is the way you speak, right? Like if you have like a southern drawl, or if you have a really cool accent, like Rebecca. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think that DNA determines how you act? Not at all? Okay, so then I think it's 50-50, and that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, the second thing says enzymes and proteins, they're the doers. You know that. Enzymes are what do. They unzip DNA. They increase blood sugar. And then energy is necessary to carry out cellular processes, except passive transport. Okay, so organismal behavior, I put these two pictures on here. The way ducks follow their mom. Have you ever seen how that happens? Isn't that not cute? That's a behavior that ducks do. And why do they do that?
to stay together.
To stay together, but really why? Why do they want to stay together?
Don't they do that to like save energy
They're
or
too
something?
little to like be on. Are they too little to be on males?
Yeah, they're too little to be on their own. Why are they too little to be on their own? What will happen if they're by themselves?
They get eaten.
They'll get eaten. Right, so this is good for predators. Okay, what were you going to say?
I have a question. So how come like when chicks follow your mom's lead, how come when you pick up a chick, I've never done this, that's what I hear. You pick up a chick, they like ostracize the chick. Like they don't want the chick back after you pick it up.
Maybe, I don't know if that's true, but because of its smell, I think. You made it smell a certain way. Does it fit in anymore? I know. I don't know if that's really true, though. I've just heard that. Okay, so, but they'll get eaten by predators if they don't follow their moms. Also, the mom duck is going to help them find food. Right, so that's what this is all about, why they behave the way they do. And the study of behaviors is called ethology. Do y'all see that in your notes? It's like right in the middle. Ethology, that's the study. So what we just discussed, that was like, us thinking about it. Do you think that the way that ducks follow their moms is in their DNA, or is it learned? I don't know the answer. I'm just, how could we design an experiment to tell?
To watch it hatch. If it hatches, it'll follow its mom and it's in its DNA because it doesn't learn.
Yeah?
Maybe have like the chick by itself and not like a whole group of them. So they don't have like an example of
Right, so one chicken, one mom, and see if it does that. Those are some good ideas. I just thought, I don't know the answer. What about a dog hiding its bone? Do you think that's genetic or learned? Anybody got a dog at home? Does it hide its bone? It doesn't? No? Okay, well, I've seen dogs at home that do hide their bones. From, like, they're hiding their bones. They do that so that they'll have food, or they'll have their toy, like, possessions.
But I had a dog that I got from like the puppy, I guess it's now, I don't know. But and they like him, and then I had one that was like it's all like kind of concealed being born, but he got born at the house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like he does. So.
Oh, so that makes you think that it's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear what she said? There was a dog that she like adopted from the pound, and it does hide its bones, but one that has always lived in her house, it doesn't hide its bones. So that makes you think that it's learned, not when you're born with it, it's called innate. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, and then the other picture is just a picture of these birds, and they're called blue-footed boobies. Yes, I know. Blue-footed boobies. I don't know why they're called that. Because they have blue feet, not blue booties. But anyway, the reason they're on there is they do a mating dance before they mate. So the boy will come up, the male blue-footed booby will approach the female blue-footed booby, and it like dances. It'll flap its wings and step, and it's like atrocious noise making, and it dances like me. And the female blue-footed booby will either mate with it after the dance, or the female will turn around and walk away. Like, that dance was not good enough for me. So I just thought, and that's really not in today's, but that's a behavior that they do. That's a mating ritual that these birds do. So the male actually dances for the female. Okay, so look at with me where it says organismal behavior. Organisms, our behavior evolves over time. That's what the first thing says. And it's going to evolve to benefit us. Behaviors evolve over time based on awareness and survival benefits. Okay, and then it says 50% genetics, 50% experience. Okay, example, me and my sister. We have the same mom and dad. I've told you all this before. We're totally different. Our opinions and our personalities are different. Okay, example. Right now we're planning my mom a 60th surprise birthday party. Don't tell. If y'all tell, I'll know it was y'all. If she finds out. Okay, well, it's next Saturday. But we call one of my mom's friends, and we ask her who all to invite. And my mom's friend was like, invite this person from high school and this person from high school. And my mom's friend named us a few people that my sister and I didn't know. Right? So some high school friends that we had no idea. We've never met these people. Just like 6 or 7. And so I was like, just go with the flow. Just invite them. I mean, what's it going to hurt? We don't know those people, but just invite them. And my sister was all worried about it. Well, what if we invite this guy and we don't invite any of the other guys, and it hurts somebody's feelings? I'm like, just go with it, Laura. And she'll call me back and be like, well, maybe we should just invite them. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it then. And she'll come back, well, maybe we shouldn't invite them. I'm like, okay, don't. So what I'm trying to get at is I'm like, go with the flow. And my sister is like, she worries and she decides and she really thinks about things. She's totally type A. So I called my sister and I was like, well, I can, my sister addressed all the invitations. She had to be in control of who was invited. Just real serious about it. I looked up the addresses though. She was real serious about it. And so I called her and I was like, listen, let me call and order the catering. Let me set all that up since you've been really busy with it. She said, no, I want to do that. I was like, okay. Well, you want me to call and order the cake then? I know you're busy. She's got children. I was like, well, let me call and order the cake. And she's like, no, I want to do that. I'm like, okay. But she's like really organized and likes to be in control of situations. And I'm like, no, let's just do it. Let's just try it. We'll call and order the food, and it'll be great, and we'll have a great time. Whether we invite those 6 people from high school or not, it'll be great. But we're just totally different as far as that kind of thing goes. So why? Our DNA has to be really similar. We have the same mom and dad. We grew up in the same house.
It's like when you have like your kids, it's almost like that one that's like bad out of the group, and it's the one that's like really good that's really good.
I have to wonder, do you think maybe it's our friends we hung out with, like, growing up? Like, I went to high school 6 years after she did, so my friends were different than her friends. Or maybe just that little bit of DNA difference. Now, we do have some similarities in our opinions, but not many. Okay, behaviors can be influenced by an organism's interactions with others. So some animals, y'all try to think of an example with that. Some animals influence other animals. How? Influential. Go.
Okay, for example, dogs and cats are supposed to not get along, but if a dog that is like stray and a cat that's stray, they like fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a dog that lives in a house with like a cat inside,
Yeah.
they get along.
Absolutely. I think that's a good example. Or what about, like, even in humans, the younger sibling learns to walk faster. Like, learns to walk at 9 months as opposed to 12 months old. Because the younger one saw the older one walking. right? That was just an example I had. Or it's normally easier to potty train the second dog, because the second dog sees the first dog go to the bathroom, and so it catches on faster. So that was just an example I thought of. Okay, outward behaviors are observable, like using the bathroom outside for a dog. Inward behaviors, those are like thoughts and feelings, are not as observable. Okay, the next thing says innate. Innate would be the opposite of what? You know what innate is. Innate's like what you're born with. So the other, do what? Yeah, like acquired or learned behaviors, like behaviors you've learned. Okay, so innate behaviors, the picture of babies crying. Babies cry like right away. Dogs barking. And something that's innate has to be common through the whole species. Like all dogs bark. All babies cry. I thought this picture was cute. This is like a 4D sonogram or 3D sonogram, whichever. And the baby is sucking its thumb already. So didn't see that from anybody. It's in the DNA to know to do the sucking motion. Yes, ma'am.
Like my little sister, when she was, my mom got her sonogram. It's like
Oh, so yeah, so sucking your thumb is something we're born knowing how to do. And that really is helpful when we have to drink out of a bottle. Right? That's we know how to eat immediately.
Like, we all sometimes,
Do what?
we all, like, my brother and sister, like, all of us sometimes. Like, I just don't say
Oh, man. Annika. Okay. So it says innate behaviors. You want to know these are behaviors that an organism is born with, developmentally fixed, and then it's the same among all organisms. And have y'all ever heard, like, nature versus nurture? Right? So nurture is how you were raised, who you were around. Nurture is how your mama took care of you. And nature is your DNA. So if something is nature versus nurture, and we could think of how to design an experiment, like separating the baby chickens and things like that, or the baby ducks. Okay, so we said ethology is the study of behaviors. Jane Goodall, y'all heard of her? I think, do what? Yeah, Jane Goodall was a lady that she wanted to study how apes, like how they behaved in the wild and why they behaved that way. So she lived in the woods with them. And she ate like they did and slept like they did and walked and talked like they did. I guess they don't talk like us, but she did what they did to study. And we know a lot from her. We learned a lot from her. But unfortunately, she ended up getting attacked. But she did. I think it was in their nature, even though they probably trusted her, it was in their nature to be aggressive. And
Did she die?
Is that the woman with the face?
She died?
I think so.
Is that her?
So the girl got face snatched off.
I think so. Somebody can look it up, but I think so.
Oh, yeah,
My
her
dad
face
met
is
her
like.
like when I was a baby. Oh, like she's alive.
Yeah, she didn't die. I remember she didn't die like right at first.
Yeah.
She's alive.
No, she's alive. The monkey that mauled her died. That's what the monkey that mauled her died, but she's still alive. So she got.
Okay, but she went and studied them and why they did this and how they did this and why they acted the way they did. Okay, so it says ethology. You want to know how an organism behaves.
No, she didn't.
Okay, so we confirmed it. She did not get attacked.
Somebody thinks Travis did.
No, she didn't. I just thought she did.
Is she the one that they named Tarzan and Jane?
I don't think so. I think it was older than that.
She was born Janice?
I think I don't know.
She's 79. I bet that they named her.
Okay, fixed action potential. So you got the ethology is the study of behaviors. Fixed action potential. I've also seen that as fixed action pattern. So maybe write pattern out beside that. So you know, but this is something that an animal learns and it's unchangeable. So fixed action potential is a learned behavior that is unchangeable. And it's going to increase their survival. So I think a good example is cardinals. If a red bird, another cardinal, ever gets close to their nest, they attack it. So somebody figured out that it doesn't have to be a bird. If they took a piece of red construction paper and put it close to the bird, and put it close to the nest, they would attack it. And so birds, the cardinals they know to attack the color red. Does anybody ever be sitting in their house and a bird attack their window?
Yeah.
Okay, no, okay, I have for sure. But what happens is the bird sees its reflection in the window, attack.
That happened in class.
And they do it over and over and over, like they do it all the time.
Yeah. I was just talking about that. Did she tell you?
Yes, Hope did tell us that
Yeah, she
last
said,
period.
I'm gonna shoot that bird
Mhm.
with a cardinal. I was like, okay.
Is it red, I wonder?
Yeah, she told the cardinal she was gonna go out and shoot it because it kept hitting the window every day at the same time.
But that's why I think that's why they see their reflection, so they attack. But another example of a fixed action pattern is a baby grabbing its little hands. Okay, but this is a video. Somebody has a lot of spare time on their hands. Okay, so this fish here on the left, it's just no, these aren't real fish. They're like, so this is a great fish, and you're gonna see that the fish, it's like a 3-spiny fish. That's the name of it. But it won't attack this. But it will attack these two. So the fish has been trained, the fixed action potential is to attack red. And then they put this in the fish tank, and it attacks that. And it doesn't even look like a fish. Okay, so let's check this out. Okay, so that's the first one they're going to put in. And it doesn't have any red on it. That's the second one. That one looks the most like the fish, I guess. And that one's not even shaped like a fish. So they put it in there, and it's like, not a big deal. Okay, so did y'all see how it attacked the red? Even when it didn't even look like a fish? Okay, there's our cardinals. And then the baby, we learn to grab something and hold on to it. Okay, and then the next part of the notes talks about...
Is that not innate?
No, because at first they won't hold on. And then they learn to hold on, I think. The book gives that as an example of the fixed action pattern or fixed action potential. Okay, so behavioral ecology, the study of behavior is as it relates to evolving with the environment. All this next part is talking about is their behavior evolves to benefit, right? And y'all remember, I know we haven't done evolution yet, but y'all remember hearing in 9th grade the survival of the fittest. And fittest, we think, means like the strongest. But it may not be the strongest. It may be the smallest, so it can hide from predators. So survival of the fittest really means the survival of the organisms who are able to have babies. And then those organisms are going to survive and have babies. So the organism that's the most fit is the organism that's able to have the most babies. Well, no, just of that insects. Like, right, what traits are the best so that you can pass those traits on? What traits are the best that you can have babies? And then of those babies, what traits are the best that are going to be able to have babies? So organisms' behavior is evolving to be more fit. And so it says natural selection plays a huge role in these behaviors. Now, if you're not able to reproduce, then your genes are gone. Right? Like you die and your genes die with you. But if you're able to reproduce, then your genes are passed on. So that makes you more fit. Nature selected you nature selected you to get to pass on your genes. Does that make sense? And so that's just saying different rates of reproductive success due to behavior. So they may be able to have more offspring. Strong traits survive, and weak individuals would die off. Okay, the next thing, which is probably the most important part of the notes, is foraging. Do y'all see that? That's how you get food. Foraging is searching for food. You may have heard that word before. Searching for food. Okay, an animal has to find its food, has to get its food, has to chase its food, or whatever kind of foraging it does. But it wants to not spend more energy finding the food than the energy is worth. Than the food is worth. Okay, think about this example. Let's say you really want a job at this one place. Imagine that one job you really want, and you're still in high school. So you finally find this job. You go to the interview, you get hired, you're really excited. It's going to be like $10 an hour, great job. But it's all the way in Alabaster. So it's like